Hello, everybody, and welcome to Money Matters. If you like to make money and enjoy learning about crypto and other investment topics, please subscribe to the channel. If you like the information, give it a thumbs up. Let's get into it. As a disclaimer, this is not financial advice. I am not a financial advisor. This is for your entertainment purposes only. Okay, I know it's brutal out there. The market is still overall in the red, fairly terrible shape. However, we have some interesting charts looking at later on that are going to kind of give us an indication of where we're going and where we are universally. This is not something that is just a spot on. This is something that's across the board. If we want to examine some sort of recovery where we're going to go back into price discovery for Bitcoin as well as other altcoins and Ethereum, we have to think about the $40,000, $41,000 mark for Bitcoin. We're still stuck, we're meandering about, but once we cleanly get through that 40,000 and we hold it as a floor, that's when things are going to start to change. So the only thing we could do is be patient and just wait, basically. All right, let's take a look at the news. El Salvador, once again, they're in the news. We've got the country is going to be spreading the wealth. Apparently, every citizen will be getting a digital wallet with 30 Bitcoin for everybody. This is wonderful. I wish they would do this in the US, but we'll have to see about that later on. Anyway, I think this is a wonderful way to really kickstart and give validity to the whole idea of accepting cryptocurrency within a country. It's amazing that they were able to do it and do it so quickly. I think information dissemination is going to be an interesting topic for them to spread knowledge to folks on how to use cryptocurrency, let alone how to take cryptocurrency as a payment. So I'm sure there's a lot of growing pains, but the whole idea of having a country giving free money to people in the form of cryptocurrency is just mind-boggling, to say the least, and is certainly a template for adoption in other places. So very impressive for the country to be doing that. In the news as well, we have a lot of the economy with respect to inflation and the market have kind of hitched the wagon to cryptocurrency. So in other words, we've known for a long time that the stock market goes up and down, and it kind of ties to loosely the crypto markets. Sometimes it's the market's going up and Bitcoin's and the rest of the cryptocurrencies are going down, but typically they flow in the same general direction. Right now, the market is making a pretty big recovery, which we're going to look at that in reference to crypto in the near future in a couple of slides. But for right now, the two parties in Washington have tentatively agreed on a $500 billion or so. It's probably going to end up being more like $1 trillion in an infrastructure bill, which is going to really help bolster the underlying confidence in the fact that the government will continue to print money. It won't be going directly to customers or consumers per se, but it will be going to businesses, and $500 billion is nothing to sneeze at. So that money is going to be trickling in over time, which is a very good sign for cryptocurrencies because it adds stability to the flow of money that's coming in. I think that there's going to be some additional spending measures that come into place, not this year, but over the next 2 years, that will help stretch that out as well. And I think what the government's trying to do is trying to stabilize interest rates, inflation, and the general recovery of the economy so that no markets go down drastically and that employment continues to go back up. So more to come on that, but I think the spending will continue in Washington. But this is good news for us in keeping the idea of the underlying currency value within the market up. The mayoral candidate, one that I think is supposed to be tops for winning, made a comment in the news about becoming the center of Bitcoin, New York City becoming the center of Bitcoin, which is pretty astounding. And the reason I thought this was interesting is this kind of lends to the idea of adoption and the fact that there's a lot of states within the United States that are turning towards cryptocurrency for drawing people and industries and companies into the fold. Texas, I think, is leading the way with respect to this. They're probably one of the most friendly crypto states. I think Florida is close behind, but they're more centralized in Miami. And I think that New York, of course, is a huge city, a huge economy. But I think that it's spreading faster and faster. And for somebody to come out and state that they want to make a major city in the United States a center for Bitcoins, I think is wonderful. We're going to see some more adoption. It's going to be spreading. I've also read that there's a lot of these companies that are, or businesses, or whatever you want to call them, mining institutions from China that are flying out their equipment to different states in the United States to set up shop. And one of those states is Texas. Very eco-friendly with respect to mining for Bitcoin, and very open to having other businesses come in. So I think that the dissemination of mining from China to the rest of the world is, again, a good thing, and it will continue over time. And when the dust settles, I think that the majority of Bitcoin mining will be outside of the borders of China in the very near future. Within the next year, it should happen. Which China doesn't care, because they're really pushing their own currency and they don't want the competition, and they have the ability to control that. That's for sure. They just turn off the electricity. Okay, I wanted to go through something. It's very telling as we look and get depressed about the market being down, which it is a little bit depressing. Remember that what goes down must go up. Usually. So we're going to take a look at some charts, and I want to see if we can find any particular patterns within these charts. I'm going to move out of the way here so that we can take a look at some of this stuff. Okay, so let's start with the first chart here, and what we want to take a look at is kind of between right around February or so, when things started to go up in the market. And we can see that we went up right around May, April, May. Actually, it was for altcoins, more like May. You can see Bitcoin was a little bit more scattered with respect to it's up and down, it's spread out, which we've talked about that before too. I think that the cycles are going to be spread out a little bit more, but you can see as we went up the same time period, pretty much, February, March, we were riding at the top for quite some time. But for other currencies, as we scroll through all of the charts, see if you notice anything. They all start to look the same. They're all up right around the end of May, and they're all drastically dropping. DOT is an exception with an overall range here, a little bit more like Bitcoin. But you can see that they're all the same. Another thing that you can take note at is that the baseline before February is typically where these coins are settling down. My point here is that everything is in a cycle. Whatever is down is going to go back up within a cycle. So although it seems depressing, although it seems like things are crashing around us, if we look at all of these charts, you can just pick on any one of them, you can see that we are ready to go back up. We are ready to go back to previous levels. In my estimation, we're going to settle in somewhere right around mid-May. I was trying to do some Fibonacci retracements and understand where we might retrace back to before we go up to all-time highs. But I think that all of the coins that we're looking at here will go back to their mid-May point before they take off. And that mid-May point is going to be $40,000 for Bitcoin. So once Bitcoin reaches $40,000 and maintains, we will see all of these coins, doesn't matter which one you look at, up back at their pre-May or mid-May performance levels. So positive news there. Now, Interestingly, as we talked about the stock market in association with the crypto market, if we look at some basic funds, and these are funds that I've invested in, but Kathy Wood's ARK funds, if we look, we've had our drop here and it's already on the way back up. I've got 3 funds that I'm tracking here, and you can see that every single one of them are going back up. If you look at Tesla, you can see that Tesla is on its way back up too. My point here is that if crypto is closely tied to the regular stock market, we should start to see crypto turn back up this week. It's not going to be this weekend, I don't think. I think we're going to still see red most of the weekend. We might turn out towards the end of Sunday. Again, we'll probably be trading somewhere in around 33,000 for Bitcoin for the rest of the weekend. But I think next week we should start to see every single coin step up and move into mid-May pricing. So that being said, we can focus a little bit more on Bitcoin, knowing that everything is going to be following what's to come. Again, I think that right around 30,000, 33,000, we're going to be trading at for the rest of the week. I think we have a solid floor at 30 to 31. And this is an interesting chart I found that had a triple bounce, which is a term that I wasn't familiar with because I guess it's not really used that often. But you can see that Bitcoin has bounced off of this support line 3 times in a row, which means it has very, very stable support right around 30,000. And we can see whales coming in and buying things up at that time and supporting it. So I don't think that we're going to go below 30,000 for any significant amount of time anytime soon. And in fact, it should provide a pretty good support up to 40. Once we get to 40, I think all the altcoins will have turned around to their mid-May pricing and we should be off to the races. So hopefully it's sooner than later, but we'll have to see. Last but not least, winners never quit, and quitters never win. Always give your very best effort to overcome the challenges that you face in life. I hope you have a great day. I'm planning on having a great day. I will see you tomorrow.